It is not every day that a murder case grips a country's attention for years after the crime has actually happened. A trial unfolds, a verdict is delivered. But follow-up and implementation of the court order takes its own sweet time. Over months, the frenzy fades, the attention shifts, and a death sentence hangs in limbo. This is the basic premise of a high-profile murder case from Pakistan. Who is the victim? Who is the murderer? And why is the implementation of justice being delayed? The story is from Pakistan's capital, Islamabad. A man and a woman are in a relationship. Both come from elite backgrounds. The woman is Noor Mukadam. She's a Pakistani diplomat's daughter. The man she is in a relationship with is Zahir Jaffer, scion of one of Pakistan's richest business families. In July 2021, the couple came under spotlight for all the wrong, horrifying reasons. Then, just 27 years old, Noor Mukadam was found beheaded. The crime took place on July 20th that year. The murder was gruesome, but it followed other criminal acts. Jaffer was accused of beating and raping his girlfriend as well before he cut her head off. The first and immediate question here is why? Turns out Jaffer wanted to marry Noor, but the 27-year-old refused his proposal. Furious at the rejection, Jaffer held her captive for 2 whole days, during which he raped and tortured her. CCTV footage from those fateful days showed Noor trying to escape the house, but in vain. Then, Jaffer decapitated her with a knife. Now come the other questions. Did Jaffer act in a fit of rage? And did he act alone? The answer to both questions is no. The 27-year-old eventually went to confess to the police that he intended to kill Noor Mukadam if she refused to marry him. Now, coming to the second question. Yes, there are others who assisted Jaffer during and after the crime. House help and security guards of the business family's mansion in Islamabad had helped the accused by blocking the victim's attempts to escape. Even Jaffer's parents were arrested for hiding evidence and being complicit in the crime. Investigation and trial in this murder case revealed that the accused called his parents after beheading Noor. Now, Jaffer's parents, instead of calling the police, called a counseling and psychotherapy center instead. Let's now zoom out and look at the timeline of this whole case from a legal and investigation standpoint. The murder, as we established, took place on July 20th, 2021. By the next day, an FIR had been registered with the police and Jaffer was arrested. By July 24th, officials who arrested his parents and house help as well. So in less than a month, investigators had then cracked open the case. On August 15th, officials were able to match DNA and prints of the accused boyfriend, which confirmed his involvement. A trial started soon enough, and court reached a verdict within months. On February 24, 2022, court found Zahir Jaffer guilty. He was sentenced to death for murder and got 25 years of imprisonment for rape. A watchman and a gardener working in Jaffer's house got 10 years each in prison for abetting the murderer. Noor's grief-stricken family had welcomed the verdict back in 2022.
The death sentence has been handed down today, and it was very much due. I have repeatedly said that this case is not only for my daughter, but it is justice for the daughters of all of Pakistan.
So within 7 months, the crime was investigated, tried, and a verdict was eventually delivered. But it has been 4 years and 3 months, and Zahir Jaffer has not been hanged yet. During this time, the convicted murderer has appealed his sentence twice. First in September 2022 at Islamabad's High Court. But in March 2023, the justices upheld the death sentence. In fact, court upgraded the rape imprisonment verdict to a death sentence for Zahir Jaffer. Then again, in May 2025, just last year, Jaffer appealed in Pakistan's Supreme Court. The top court dismissed it within a day and upheld both the death sentences. But it has been a year since then. Yet, no words or sense of finality on when Jaffer will be hanged for his crimes. As far as Noor Mukadam is concerned, justice has still not been served in her case, at least not entirely. But this will not be the first time. In 2016, social media star Qandil Baloch was killed by her brother. It was a clear case of honor killing, which the accused admitted on tape. In the year 2019, court sentenced him to life imprisonment. But 3 years later, a Pakistan appeals court acquitted and freed the brother, Wasim Baloch. More recently, social media influencer Sana Yusuf was killed in her own home. And that happened because she rejected a man's advances. The TikTok star was killed in June 2025, less than a year ago. She was just 17 years old. The trial of the accused is still underway. So the underlying theme is common and still prevalent in Pakistan. The men simply cannot take no for an answer and think that the proper response to rejection is to murder a woman. Pakistan's law is also not stringent enough to instill fear and deter men from committing such crimes. A delayed death sentence execution in Jaffer's case, an acquittal of Qandil Baloch's own brother. Because if this is how law takes course in brutal murders of women, no wonder activists and thousands of Pakistani women take to the streets all across the country every year. But instead of strong legislation with strict implementation, these protesting women in the country are met with news of fresh murder cases. The few that actually come to light because the women have influence, money, or fame. For thousands of others from poor and middle-class families, justice is an unfamiliar word. For in Pakistan, a man can murder freely, but a woman cannot say no.